welcome to a brand new episode of the Trailer Show Podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, if y'all been living under a rock, man, a lot has been going on, and this show that I've been bragging about on this podcast is coming back. Not only are they back for a third season, they are 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which, if anybody can see any movies out right now, they have been killing it. So 100% is big for Rotten Tomatoes. They've been nominated for 2 Black Reel Awards, and they are winners of the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Directing in a Comedy Series. That show, if you have been living under a rock, is called Southside, and it is on HBO Max. Hey, here at the Trailer Show Podcast, we love that show. I'm telling you right now, this is a comedic show that we have not seen in ages, and a show that's been needed for a long time. Our guest today is a friend of the show. He's also the star, director, writer, producer. Man, so many hats. But the star of the show has graciously came to our show again today to talk about season 3. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Sultan Salahuddin. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the Straight Up Show Podcast.
What up, Straight Up Show Podcast? Good to be back. Always willing to be a part of this great community. Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. And so, Sultan, like for the people that don't know you, man, you have been killing it. You've been doing a lot of great things. But for the people that don't know you, kind of introduce yourself. Tell us people who you are, where you're from, and what all you've been doing.
Sure, certainly. My name is Sultan Salahuddin. I am a co-creator, producer, writer, and actor on the show Southside. In addition to that, I have a nonprofit called Lane 44, which we help the youth on the South Side so they can work side by side with industry professionals so they can get an understanding of what goes into making feature films. I'm working on several projects, some of which I can't really talk about right now, but they are coming. They are in the works, and you will know as soon as I can speak about it, you guys will know about it. In addition to that, I'm from Chicago, born and bred. Raised on the South Side, went to Chicago High School of Agricultural Sciences, and I love pizza.
Yeah, man. And you know what's crazy about pizza? Like, I found out, I think it was either Ed Williams III, I think somebody told me that people in Chicago don't really like deep dish pizza. Like, or that's not really a big trend in Chicago. Like, deep dish pizza is not really y'all's big thing out there. So I didn't know that. That was crazy.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm from Chicago, and it is a big thing. Like, depending on who you talk to, it is. Because we got Giordano's, we got Illuminati's, and they all special in the deep dish pizza. So that's a staple of Chicago. But we also have a variety of other sizes of pizza. So it's depending on the circle you're in, it's a big deal.
And you know what's crazy? You learn, and with the show Southside, y'all learn so much about Chicago that a lot of people don't understand, because you think Chicago, you think the Bulls, and then you think the negativity about, the violence in Chicago and stuff like that.
Go Bulls.
Yeah, the Bulls, I know, right? Y'all had a Bull shout out. I can't pronounce his name, man. I'm going to butcher his name. But in the first episode, Ayo, there you go, Ayo. So,
Ayo Desuma?
Yeah. And y'all been so giving back to that community in that aspect. But like things about like Joe and like saying Joe and all this, like I didn't know any of this before, or Harold's Chicken. Like I didn't know about any of this, none of that before I saw Southside. So y'all have been doing it, and y'all coming back for a 3rd season, which is out right now. So make sure you go watch watch Southside on HBO Max right now. Season 3 out right now. But with that being said, let's recap season 2 right now, because y'all did the food. Like y'all let me just tell
Appreciate that.
Like y'all came out the bat on episode 1 on season 2 with the steaks. Man.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. That's a classic.
Like how did the episode come about? Because that was every man's every man that works hard, they felt the episode. I felt it.
Yeah. How do we come about it? Well, we were in the writing room, and one of the things we wanted to do was tell a compelling story. But we wanted to tell a grounded, compelling story that had to do with just a simple idea that even though we work hard and we have all these issues in our life, there are these small little things that are important to us, and we're willing to go all the way to the edge of the hills to get it. So that's a story about a guy who just wasn't going to be denied the one thing that he was important to him. And anybody can identify that, whether it's cheese curls, pizza, a fish sandwich, whatever you need. That's if you got to have it at the end of the week. If you worked all hard all month and you want to reward yourself, that's what that symbolizes. Because we all should be rewarding ourselves every now and again, because we do the thing as it relates to working hard and continuously moving forward.
Yeah, and Simon, and for those who don't know, that's familiar with Southside, Sultan plays a character named Simon who works kind of like at a rent center area, and he is always looking to work. And like, thing about Southside as a whole is that I love about y'all is that y'all continue to build off storytelling. Y'all have long-term storytelling, and with season 3. Y'all kind of continue that, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But man, Simon, just explain your character of Simon, because he's a hard worker. But just tell us about Simon and the character that you play.
Well, Simon is a dynamic character. He is a genius in a world where his smarts make him stand out, his intelligence makes him stand out, if you will, and he's always trying to improve his life. Now, here's the interesting thing: he does a lot of hustles. He realizes that some of the hustles that he decides to do, he understands going into it that it's not a long-term thing. Sometimes it's just about getting enough money to buy baby girls some shoes, or getting enough money to take the kids out to eat, or paying a bill that he was unexpected to have to pay. So his thing is constantly moving forward. If he were in another situation, obviously he'd be a millionaire. If he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, he would run his own IRA and hedge fund, et cetera, et cetera. But since he's not, and he works in RTO, he has to come up and work with the resources that are available to him. And, he basically symbolizes all of the hardworking men in the world, specifically Chicago, who go unseen, unheard, but they keep the wheels on the bus rolling. In other words, the kids that they still have clothes on their back, food in their tummy, and shelter over their head. He's really good with his friends, even though he treats them every now and again, good and bad. But the main thing is that he is a character that symbolizes so many of the men in our community, especially on the South Side, and some of the things that they have to go through and deal with that, you just don't see on TV or you don't hear in the news, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and that's why, and me personally, outside of my professionalism, that's why I relate to Simon a lot, because that character shows that, even though it's the environment you're in, you still can progress in life. And I think that,
right.
I don't think that your character is something that we do not see on TV. That's why I think it's relatable, because it's really real. Because because there are a lot of brothers Simon that are out there right now that don't get the recognition, like you said. And I'm like, man, this is relatable. This is real life, but it's comedic too. But this is some real stuff. So I really love that how y'all did that. Y'all wrote that character, and then you have Kay as the homeboy. It's you know what, man, I support you. There's no hating on me, And then there was one episode of season 2 to where he asked for a little support from you, and you was like, yeah, I got you. You didn't even read the book, did you? Nah. So
nah.
Man, let me tell you,
but I was there. I was there at the book reading.
He was there. But the thing is that I know the ambulance episode that took me out, man. That was just the ambulance episode. The ambulance.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Man, that took me out, man, because people don't know there is an Uncle Spike in every hood that and that character, man. Woo. All right, so before we go to a quick break, right quick. Let's talk about the episode of season 2 that y'all did win an award for, Tornado. And, why was that episode so iconic and so important? Because, it took me out too, just to have that cast and the writing and stuff like that. But, how did it feel to have that episode get an award?
It feels great anytime you're recognized for any award or anything that you get when you're in this business. It's really hard to even get to this point. So if you receive awards on top of that, it's like icing on the cake. I'm always proud of any awards that the show wins, but it's important to note that we don't make our show for awards. So we make our show so that people can laugh, feel comfortable, have a good escape, and really broaden the world's view of what Chicago was about and provide some comedy. That's really, at the end of the day, it's about comedy. So the awards, I welcome them. I'm thankful for them. But our show, we do it for the people. We do it to make people laugh, and we do it to make ourselves and everyone else feel good and spread that vibration of humor.
And I want to give a quick shout out to your whole family, bro, because like
thank you.
Not only is Bashir doing his thing, shout out to Top Gun.
Yeah,
Saw Bashir was in Top Gun. Shout out to that. But he's also killing it.
Some
with
people are unreachable. He's way up there, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, but he's really good.
Yeah, he's very good. But shout out to him in his show, Sermon Showcase, that's winning awards and getting recognition as well. But let me tell you, man, I haven't spoken to her. But your sister Zira, who plays Stacy on the show, is it Zuri?
Zuri?
Right?
Yeah.
Zuri, yes. Man,
Zuri. Yeah.
Let me tell you, I don't know what she has coming up, but she is one of the biggest futures in comedy. Because, like, when I say
she's dynamic,
woo, like just
she's very. Yo, let me tell you something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go. No, you go.
I was just gonna add into what you were saying. She's very, very talented. She's very, very funny. And she's very quick with it. And I've been encouraging her to write and asking her to write some stuff. So, in a little while, you may see some things come from Stacy or Sultan Salahuddin that you ain't never seen before. So, yeah, she's very talented.
Yeah, and that, to me, is like, we work around other celebrities and stuff like that, but it's like, like she is a special person because the timing, the wittiness, the delivery of her lines is like, bro. Like this comedy at its best, and I love it. So, and your whole family is funny. Like I know I saw your other brother, the last episode, last season, at the nursing home, and I was like, you know what? You don't gotta tell me that's his brother because at the nursing home when y'all was fighting,
the one that was singing. Yeah, that's my brother. It's my brother Mikael, man. He can sing like an angel, man. He's got pipes. As a matter of fact, at his 8th grade graduation, he sung. They asked him to sing, and I think he sang "I Believe I Can Fly." This is back when R. Kelly was cool, but he did sing it then, and he blew everybody away. So we have him come on and do songs every now and again and act some other parts. But he's very talented as well. Like all my siblings can sing, except for me.
Yeah, because Bashir and Ziri, that's come on, Sultan, like you got.
And my sister Raja, and my brother Ismail, and Mikael. I have 5 siblings. All of them can sing, plus my mom and dad. I can't.
But you know what?
Right?
But you're the star. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. You're the one. You're the one. But no, like y'all have a talented family, and I love all the work that y'all have been doing cross platforms, all across the platforms. But before we go to break, right quick, tell us the importance of because there was a time like I love being a part of something. I think with why Southside special is because I was with y'all in the very beginning, like when y'all was on Comedy Central,
right.
Or with the other networks. I don't know if I can say it or not, but like the other network. And so,
yeah, you can say it.
Okay, so so just going from Comedy Central and DVRing y'all's episodes, weekly episodes, as it came out. That's ancient to me. Now y'all transition to HBO Max to where they want more from y'all. Like, how does that feel to transition from, cable network going on weekly episodes to like now a streaming service wants more of y'all? How does that feel?
It feels amazing, man. Like, shout out to Comedy Central for supporting us and help putting us on the map. They did a great job while we were there. I really enjoyed working with them. But they had a change within their organization, and they sold our show to HBO Max. So when they did that, it put us. We were in Comedy Central because it was on cable, and a lot of people are like not doing cable; they're moving more towards streaming service. So that kind of had us in this holding place. Like, I hope you got cable. I hope you can stream HBO Max. Well, we didn't really get the eyes on our show that we wanted, but once we went to HBO Max, it was like a rebirth, man. Like we started experiencing more notoriety in the streets, more notoriety online, more notoriety from critics. And it was just like night and day. Not to say that Comedy Central didn't do a good job, but it's like driving a Chevy and then driving a Ferrari in a sense is how fast they go. And HBO Max is like the Ferrari. It's like, it competes with Netflix and Prime and like, it's one of the big boys. So to be aligned with one of the best to do it in TV is really, really special for us.
And now they have a third season on HBO Max. We're going to have a little bit more of Sultan Salahuddin, star of HBO Max's Southside season 3 out right now. Make sure you stay tuned to the Straight Up Show podcast.
I think straight up means to be able to speak in a way that is straight up, to be honest, and to speak your truth.
Raw, uncut, you know what I mean? It's blunt, you know, straight to the point. This is what it is.
It's just a place to be open and honest, and that's what I appreciate most about it. And it provides a place for community members to come together and just be straight up with each other about things that are going on in the world, because it affects all of us.
Unfiltered, raw, with all the cursing that Calvin does.
Straight up is just being real, telling it like it is, you know, being you.
Being solid, being who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what situation you're faced with, right? This is who you are. It really speaks to me, saying it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. Straight up.
Here at Straight Up, we know that all lives matter, but historical events have shown that there is an inverse power dynamic between the races in our country. To highlight this, we present our Black Lives Matter merchandise, because let's be real, some of you don't seem to understand that this isn't the organization, but a message. That message: end inequality towards minorities in America. And just in case that's too complicated for you in English, we have the phrase translated into 10 different languages. Visit straightupshowpodcast.com for this and all our other merch. That's STR, the number 8, showpodcast.com. Shirts as low as $19.99.
Hey everybody out there, I'm Sultan Salahuddin from Southside. Season 3 is out right now on HBO Max. Make sure you tune in, and make sure you tune into the Straight Up Podcast Show whenever you are online. Peace.
One. All right, welcome back to the Straight Up Show podcast. I am your host, Calvin. Hey, we are celebrating season 3 premiere of Southside on HBO Max, and what other better way to do that to have the star of the show on the show today, Mr. Sultan Salahuddin. Thank you so much once again for coming on Straight Up Show podcast.
Yay. Straight Up Show podcast. Happy to be here. Let's continue this wonderful conversation. Glad to be here, y'all.
Yes, sir. And like I said, he's a friend of the show. And you have a new season of Southside on HBO Max, which they have transitioned from Comedy Central. Season 3 out right now. Hey, y'all, I have watched, at this time of the recording, the first 2 episodes. And let me just tell you, I have already bust out laughing. I have man, y'all have made me thought about stuff. And it's just like, the show is relatable. So can you give right now, for what you can at this present moment, give us a preview of season 3 and how was that filming season 3 and what can you tell us about it?
Well, season 3 is special. It's, you know, not a lot of shows get to that third year or that third season. So for me, this is my first third season on any show. So I'm very, very excited about that. As far as the stories that go on season 3, we're going to expand our world and go places that we haven't gone before, and you're going to get more in-depth information about some of the characters. Like, for example, Simon, this season, you're going to see him push his limits and see some of the people that he knows outside of the regular RTO world. In addition to that, you're going to learn that he has an affinity for old school action movies like Rambo and those kind. You're going to learn that in this season, and you're going to see why. I also think that a lot of the other characters on the show, we're really focusing on the main characters and spreading them and broadening them out so that you can learn more about those characters. So more great stories, more places in Chicago that you have yet to see. Like, for example, in the first episode, they went to Lower Wacker to the car pounds, the police car pound. You never seen that on TV, and you usually don't know that that's there unless you get your car towed. Well, in addition to that, we also, as you mentioned earlier, we have some Bulls players on there, And we have some other notable celebrities who I cannot name right now because they're surprises for you all. But if you enjoyed the first 2 episodes, that's just the warm up. We got some more. We got 6 more good ones coming, and they got fire. And I'm telling you, it's people are gonna be like, all I know is there's some things in there, and good thing we're on HBO. There's some things on there that aren't going to be expected, and there are going to be some really good stories for you guys to sink your teeth into.
Yeah, and that y'all got me out the gate already. And I think anybody who has not watched the first 2 seasons can really pick up at season 3.
Yeah,
and then they can get just sucked in right away. And I love it because I told you before, my family, we leave y'all's episodes on repeat. Like that's all we watch is like Southside, And so it's the barbershop.
Love.
Yeah, the barbershop does the same thing, like you said. But to me, I love that people can find y'all now because like I have friends that probably wouldn't really like comedy, but to see them like promote y'all without, I'm like, wait, you know about Southside? Like, okay, you know about Southside? Okay, you know Southside? Like, so it's kind of like.
So wait, how's that happen? How's that happen? So you just sitting around, you guys just sitting around talking, and then somebody brings up Southside, and you're like, wait, what? That's my show. Is that?
Yeah, yes.
That's love.
And I'm like, because this person I'm talking about, he's into like, gory movies and like action movies, and then like, I see him like, y'all Southside coming out this. I'm like, you know about South? I said, hey, you know what? So that to me, to actually talk to y'all,
spreading.
And that makes me love it even more, man. So season 3, like, there's a Hispanic girl that works, or she's like, I guess she's Hispanic, that works on the show with y'all.
Yeah.
So y'all sit there and just give her a line. I was like, she's always there, but to sit there and give her a line, that was just funny to me.
This is her first season actually speaking. And so you're going to hear a little bit from her this season. Shout out, I mean, when you stick with our core, when you stick with what we're doing and believe in what we're doing, you get rewarded, you get progressed, you move on. It happens to everybody that's worked with Southside. So I'm very happy for her. And she's going to be doing some things this season.
And that goes back to the long-term storytelling. Like y'all kind of just, this person do with y'all. But I love how that this show is authentic because, and I think your brother and your sister-in-law talked about that y'all have people that actually live in Chicago as part of this show. So like how important is that to have that in the aspect of the show?
I think it's really important. If you want to get to the authenticity of a show, and one of the things that we pride ourselves on in our show is making sure that we have, again, compelling stories, but that reflect Chicago and reflect the people of Chicago and the lifestyle of Chicago that is not perpetuated in mainstream media. Or the only way it's portrayed is what I'm saying in mainstream media. I think that, at the end of the day, we just want to provide some humor and have the humor for the people of Chicago, but as well as the rest of the world, and invite people into Chicago to realize how wonderful and funny it is. And just to throw this last little cherry on top, her name was Desiree. That's who was speaking. Her name is Desiree. I know you're going to be like, what's her name? Her name is Desiree. She's very funny.
Yeah. And so shout out to all the writers on there. Your sister-in-law, is it Chandra? Sandra?
Chandra,
Diallo, and all y'all.
Yep.
The fact that y'all have this coming up, which I was, because you watch shows like, Power Universe, stuff like that, and it takes forever to come out for a new season. Y'all did season 2 last year, and it just, boom, back at it again. Like, like, are y'all just pumping out this stuff already? Because, I mean, season 3 is done right now, but like, do we have a season 4 already been written right now, or what's going on?
Well, no, that's not how it works. We got to wait for HBO Max to announce it and say, hey, we're going to do a season 4 of Southside. And then once you hear that official announcement, boom, from there we hit the writing room and then we go and produce it in Chicago. So as of right now, we do not have a season 4, but, you never know what's in the future. And that's really up to HBO Max and all the good work that they do over there. But I can't even see season 4 until the rest of season 3 comes out. Realistically, I want you guys to enjoy that and let's live in that moment. But, as soon as I know that there's a season 4, you'll know because I'm going to put it everywhere. And that's only one place, Instagram, Simon J. Southside.
Yeah. And that's, and what's the season 2 episode, season 3 episode was like, and he reads my DMs. Like, stuff, like
yeah. And he reads my DMs. So, absolutely. I mean, you got to think about it. It's a real thing for some people in in social media is when they send you a message and they be like, I ain't gonna never hear from this person. And then you hit them back. You're like, oh, okay, cool. They do exist. Or their assistant does it for them. Either way, it's good communication.
Yeah. And like I said, you've been very responsive and with this. And like I said, just that's why I think it's more cool because to see y'all grow, that's the cool part about this whole experience, to see where y'all started from, to sit there and actually wait for an episode on cable and a DVR if I missed it. That's why I love sticking with y'all, because it's very authentic, it's relatable, and a lot of stuff seems very. I don't know if y'all ad lib on the show at all, but like that, it just seems like y'all have so much fun on the set, and like y'all really suck, me as a viewer in. So I love that y'all have our support here always, and I can't wait for more. Season 3 comes out every Thursday, right? Every Thursday, bring an episode every Thursday, or every Thursday
for the next 4 Thursdays. Yep,
4 Thursdays. Okay, all right, and so once again, thank you, Sultan, for coming on the show. But before you go, can you please plug how people can contact you and support, your acting and all the stuff the nonprofits that you're doing right now in the community?
Yes, the best way to get in contact with me right now is through Instagram. It's Simon J Southside, or you can email me at www.lane44.org if you're interested in assisting with that. Like I said, we are fundraising right now. Really could use some angel investors to help us continue this project. We're doing really well with it, but we could always use more assistance, and that's where people can find me.
All right, 944
and HBO Max.
Yeah,
and on HBO Max on Thursday on Southside. You can find me there too.
Yeah, and we'll have all his information on the ticker below. If you're watching, if you're listening, we'll have his information on the show's description as well. So once again, cool. Sultan Salahuddin, thank you so much for coming on the Straight Up Show podcast. Southside season 3 out right now. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Straight up on the Straight Up Show. You can't be whacked. No.
No, it's all good. So once again, like Shirley said, man, Lane 44, you all stay connected with him because this is a very talented comedian, actor. He has all the skills out there. One of my biggest supporters that I see that I like to support because he's going places. So the whole family is anyway. But that's the end of our show. Make sure you go to our website, straightupshowpodcast.com. Season 3 of Southside out right now. Until then, there's only one rule to our show. You got to be
straight up.
All right. Thank you.
Straight Up Show podcast. Don't play.